Hi everyone, and welcome to our continuing coverage here at the 2010 U.S. Open. We're at Arthur Ashe Stadium, a much anticipated women's matchup here in the fourth round between second seed Caroline Wozniacki and Maria Sharapova.
Caroline Wozniacki's game depends on very few unforced errors, so that will be a key for her today. Maria Sharapova hits a long, penetrating ball. That's going to force her a little bit more.
Caroline said following her previous match, asked to look ahead by the media at the press conference, what do you expect? She says Maria will attack from the very first ball. I'm going to have to be very fast.
I think both players will not be surprised by what they get out there today. Know each other's games very well. Sharapova obviously playing Wozniacki twice, but also having seen her game over the last year and a half. So they know what to expect.
Power of Sharapova evident early on. She was asked to describe what she expected today, and she says that Caroline can make you hit a ton of balls, always forcing you to hit one more shot.
And the serve of Wozniacki is a bit underrated, but she gets good placement on that serve, some good speed, and she moves it around the box very smartly, and that's definitely something she'll have to do as well as possible today.
She's battled back for a game point.
14-13.
Very nicely done. Perfect placement on the ace to finish off the opening game of the match.
Beautiful placement from Wozniacki, and she has a little bit more spin on her ground strokes than Sharapova, so she's able to keep that ball as deep. Then when it's time to unload the off forehand, she does a great job of placing it.
Could that be an advantage for her in somewhat windy conditions?
It could be. I think that will favor her in the wind. Some of Sharapova's last match, which was an extremely windy day, and Sharapova did surprisingly well, I have to say, in keeping the errors down. She pulled her shots in, she gave herself big margins, but she still was able to hit through the court. So I think she'll be able to handle the wind pretty decently today. Rick, I was speaking a bit with Sharapova's coach, Michael Joyce, before the match, and I asked him, in a match like the last one that she played where it was extremely windy, what can you take away from a match like that? It seems difficult to really gain anything under those kinds of extreme conditions. And he agreed, but he said Maria felt like she played really well. The serve, though, today, he said, was going to be a big factor, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that so far.
Well, the issues, of course, with Sharapova's serve have been there for a while, and now you throw the wind in there with such a high toss.
Well, that's exactly what he mentioned. He kept stressing to her. He said that, you know, didn't want her to start going for too much. He wanted her to pull that serve in and really give herself big target areas, but keep swinging.
Good serve by Sharapova under pressure, trying to fight off a couple of break points early in this match. As Wozniacki, the top seed, still with a chance to bolt in front. Just underway here with his 4th round match, Arthur Ashe Stadium.
I think that's going to also be a play today for Sharapova, picking on the forehand of Wozniacki. That backhand is a little bit more solid, especially on the return. She can create a bit more on the forehand, but it's the backhand that's her go-to shot.
She's serving directly in the shadow of one of the light standards at the top of the stadium, so I don't know if that creates a little added challenge for Wozniacki.
Sharapova is at her best, moving the ball around the court, deep penetrating ground strokes, set up by this first serve. See an extremely high ball toss, but she really gets up and out, and she manages to catch that serve with full extension.
3 terrific points from Maria to turn this game around. Impressive hold for Sharapova, fighting off 2 break points for 1-all.
Well, solid playing from the Russian. And that's going to be a big key, is if she can keep hitting that way, but keep her unforced errors down. Wozniacki gets to a lot of balls. She's able to make you hit that 1 extra shot. I think we had an out call.
Yep, and a challenge from
on the left
Wozniacki.
base. The ball was called out.
A little bit late.
Once again, that baseline in the shadow.
Goal stands.
This long.
Barely long.
Wozniacki has 2 challenges remaining.
But a great point from both players.
Well, These first 2 games and a couple of points are any indication, we're going to be here a while. It's going to be a heck of a struggle.
Well, I don't think we'll see a lot of short rallies here. I mean, we might see a few, but it's going to be a hard-fought match, as we saw Caroline Wozniacki's father there on the left.
After his coaching his daughter, former professional soccer player in Poland and in Denmark. Moved to Denmark. That's where Caroline was born.
Great play from Sharapova. I think that will be the wild card in this match. How many points can she follow in? How many times can she move forward and capitalize on those deep, well-struck ground strokes?
Wozniacki, cool and calm. You talked about her on-court demeanor. Janda, it just seems like she's a little wiser beyond her years, just 20 years of age.
It seems like mentally she's very tough. She's able to maintain her concentration throughout the match. She might have a few ebbs and flows here and there, but she's able to pull it back pretty quickly. That's the sign of the top player.
And Wozniacki battling back to hold. She leads 2-1 here in the opening set.
Wozniacki leads 2 games to 1.
Just working the Monfils match as he defeated Gasquet and Fred Stolle, the Hall of Famer, my partner. We were talking about how you just can't change a philosophy. The snap of the fingers of a young player who's been told to stay deep their whole career, their whole life.
Well, I think the difficulty is for a player that has been successful or is being successful to try to get them to make major changes. It's very tough. And tennis players in general are probably a little more stubborn because you have to sort of, rely on yourself, and you have to be confident out there and be self-sufficient. So we tend to be a little bit more stubborn about it.
The sideline.
So well placed, and she got her feet into position very quickly on that backhand, Sharapova. That's what allowed her to get the accuracy, changing the direction. That's
flag.
See the flag there blowing a little bit in the wind. That last point, Wozniacki was able to get Sharapova moving, and that's what she will have to try to do more and more as this match goes on. Sharapova's so dangerous when she's able to set up.
Flag direction seems to indicate, as it's kind of been the case the last couple of days, that the wind is at the back of the player in the near court.
Exactly, and sort of a crosswind across the court diagonally.
In the last 2 days, it was kind of coming from behind the player in this side and blowing from right to left as we're viewing the court. Players were able to use that wind and play it pretty well and curling some shots in.
Well, you have to have an idea of which way the wind is blowing when you're out there on the court, because if the wind is behind you, you want to get a little more spin on your shots. You can't hit out quite as freely as if you were against the wind. So important thing to realize once you step out there. Not much anybody can do. She stepped in and got such great direction and angle in that forehand. A little bit of whip around the head.
Pull even at 2-all. Fault, something that plagued her last year when she was having service motion problems. She's gone back to her original motion, and obviously by the results this summer and through the early rounds here at Flushing Meadows, Chanda, it's certainly worked. She's back comfortable with it.
Yes, she's been serving better. She's feeling more confident with that serve.
Plagued with 20 double faults in her loss here to Melanie Oudin at the Open last year.
Just has to be careful of that toss. She has a very high toss, and sometimes it gets a little to the left of her. And you can see when she jumps into the court, she's a bit off balance at the end of a few serves. Those last 3 in particular. When the toss is a little too far to the left, it throws your balance off. Often we're trying to get a little more of a kick on the second serve, so that toss will migrate over, but Sharapova does it a little too often on the first serve.
Maria fought her way out of trouble in her first service game, facing a break point here. The second serve. She misses her final 6 serves. And Wozniacki with the break at 3-1 here in the first.
And that's a disappointing ending to a well-fought game from Sharapova. She put herself into position with the game point. Some beautiful forehand struck with the serve, again letting her down. So now she just has to regroup. Start out here at the first point, making returns.
I invite you to check out usopen.org. All the stats, features, online information about the tournament. You can also order merchandise at usopenshop.org.
15.
Big return there and missed. Sharapova undergoing surgery back in October of 2008. She was out of action as far as singles are concerned from August 2008 to May 2009. Came back with that abbreviated service motion, which she never really got comfortable with, never got the results, finally ditched that following the US Open last year.
much on that passing shot. And Wozniacki clearly
15.
not as comfortable at the net, sort of forced in on that ball.
Sharapova with a wind at her back, struggling for control.
Well, that was a difficult undertaking, standing 4 or 5 feet behind the baseline and trying to hit that ball as hard as Sharapova tried to do, especially with an opponent as quick as Wozniacki.
An ace for Caroline, her second. Couple of game points to consolidate the break of serve. She gets it done. Caroline Wozniacki, top seed, 4-1 here in the first set. Wozniacki up the break, and 4-1 here in the opening set. Maria Sharapova, 3 double faults to finish off her last service game, trying to get settled down. Faults! Serving into the wind.
And the first serve percentage of Sharapova thus far in the match at 41%, and that's much too low to really take charge against a player of Wozniacki's caliber. He's got to get that first serve percentage up because that sets up the second shots in her points.
When she gets that first serve in, she's won 5 of 7 points.
See, Wozniacki was probably going to get to that drop shot, even if it had made it over the net. That is not a strength from Sharapova.
Lots of errors early, the double faults and misses. Wozniacki with court coverage. Very consistent start for her. Stay back.
And an excellent return from Wozniacki off of a pretty well struck serve. She got that return deep.
Another huge opportunity for her. 1 of 3 in the break points. Just to really bust open this opening set.
Like 15 more points like this. Good first serve, second ball, well struck, and following it in.
Framed by Wozniacki.
Like that ball took just a bit of an odd hop. Still 1 break point.
And nearly a whiff there as he's being baffled perhaps by the wind a little bit.
Well, 2 in a row, and It's just not something you're used to as a professional. Timely first serves from Sharapova.
She missed a first serve on her first point. Since then, she's been reliable.
Advantage.
Comes back to earn a game point. Well, it seemed like Sharapova's chances were heading over the cliff. 3 break points for Wozniacki, and she roars back to hold.
Wozniacki leads 4
Still,
games to 2.
Wozniacki up a break.
First set.
Well, we spoke about the first serve percentage, and from that point on, Sharapova got pretty much all first serves in, and you're just putting so much more pressure on your opponent when you're doing that. They don't have a chance to breathe, to stand up and think in between those first and second serves, and we saw that in that last game.
She got 7 consecutive first serves in.
Love
At that point, she'd only played 7 points on her first serve, 10 on her second serve, which was not a recipe for success.
Not at all. Sharapova will want to be a little more careful
15.
of. That down the line forehand she tried for was never going to make it into the court. She was late on the shot, didn't get her body into good enough position.
Wozniacki reputed to be a much better mover than Sharapova. We see her try to move Maria around a little bit.
I think we'll absolutely see Wozniacki try to move Maria more. That's going to be her strength, is matching
15,
movement for
30.
movement. Maria, on the other hand, is looking to capitalize on her power and really put Wozniacki in difficult positions on the court.
Tough spot for Wozniacki. Double fault for her. That's her first, but it comes at a critical time. 2 break points. Sharapova trying to get back on serve.
Maria hasn't had break point until now.
Missed out wide. Give another break point.
And that was a lot of balls struck in that point. Interesting, in the early stages, Maria Sharapova had a lot of balls up the middle to Wozniacki.
30-40.
27 balls struck.
By doing that, is she kind of inviting Wozniacki to move her around?
I think she was testing in that point, seeing if maybe she could get the air or seeing what kind of opening she might get. Kind of rolling Wozniacki a little bit, but it didn't work. She didn't bite.
Deuce.
Bounced on that return. Overhit, we're back to deuce. 110 miles an hour from Wozniacki, but missing the mark. Gets the winner off the swinging volley.
And that ball right on the line. Sharapova could have come in on the previous shot, but this was a great play after such a well-hit backhand. Almost wide.
Wozniacki's turn to battle her way out of break point situations. It's 3 for this game.
Wozniacki challenged the call on the left far. The ball was called out.
That ball did look wide.
Yes, it did.
Goal stands. Advantage Sharapova.
Wozniacki down to one
Wozniacki has
challenge
one
for the
challenge
set.
remaining.
Anxious from Sharapova. She really wasn't in position to create anything on that shot. Wozniacki was in good position, could have gone either way. That's the errors that Sharapova can't afford. From Wozniacki, but just not enough. Pinpoint accuracy from Sharapova, and again, that footwork was so key. Beautiful extension.
4th break point chance of this game.
Bad luck. Serve seemed to tip the net. And the serve has gotten Wozniacki out of some trouble in some of her matches. It's a sneaky, quick motion. Saw that forehand a few shots ago. There's no chance for that ball to go in.
That was the lead. Caroline with a pretty tall toss herself. Call of out at that baseline. Sharapova indicates she will challenge.
The ball was called out.
Wozniacki does have a very high toss. Good challenge from Sharapova. And she's gotten better with her challenges. She's somewhere around 67%
Really?
rate for being correct. Points that Sharapova's trying to set up time and time again. Sharapova's tied for first place for the percentage of calls overturned, which is a good thing. Bad
Yes.
calls that were overturned.
How many times you watch a match and maybe a player didn't choose to challenge and finds out they would have been right. And Sharapova ultimately prevails. She breaks back. We're on serve. It's 4-3 Wozniacki first set. With the wind and with new balls. Wozniacki having won 3 of her last 4 tournaments coming in. Go back to an event before coming to the United States in Copenhagen, home country, for triumphs in Montreal, up in Canada, and in New Haven, about an hour away from here. Fault, and that will give her 5.
That second serve is always trouble. Allows Wozniacki to look to step forward and puts even more pressure on Sharapova's serve.
Trouble she had with the wind on the toss. This creates more time, and more time probably to think about that serve. Uphill climb for Sharapova.
The other important thing about so many misses on the serve is the lack of rhythm that you're creating. And that's a goal for players on the tennis court, to get into a rhythm, to create a rhythm for themselves and try to stay within that rhythm. Your opponent, on the other hand, is trying to disrupt that. And when you start missing a lot of serves, a lot of first serves, you disrupt your own rhythm.
Long, and Wozniacki breaks serve at love. Back up a break as we enter the late stages of this opening set.
Well, that was a perfect game from Wozniacki after dropping serve. In the first point, she got back, focused, started making Sharapova play, put a little bit more pressure on Sharapova, and she was helped by the Sharapova serve. Now serving for the first set.
The tape, and Sharapova gets the all-important first point on Wozniacki's serve.
We don't see that very often from Wozniacki. I kind of did a double take seeing that error in the net. She's made so few unforced errors in the match. 4 right now.
15 all.
We're trying to shake out of it here. Wozniacki's reached the 4th round or better at all 4 slam events this year. Venus Williams the only other player to do that. And Chanda, you pointed out she hasn't been able to follow up that appearance in the finals, but in each slam she seems to progress and continue to improve.
She has. She's bettered each of her slam results this year. And she's been consistent, which is more important. And though she hasn't followed up that final from last year with a big result like a quarter or a semi, she's been the most consistent player on tour.
Feeling a little heat on her serve, a chance to close out the first set. Sharapova keeps contributing errors.
Well, again, she's so far behind the baseline. She's about 5 feet behind the baseline on that ball, and she's trying to hit it with the same trajectory as a ball where she's stepping into the court or she's on the baseline. Has got to put some air under those balls. A little higher over the net. Did a better job in that point, and we could see from that angle even better that those balls were higher over the net and therefore deeper in the court. Wozniacki not able to step in and put pressure on Sharapova.
Maria's still alive in this set. Great point.
For Sharapova, these are extremely hard-fought points. We're seeing a lot of balls hit. Sometimes people don't realize just how fit you have to be. A 23-shot rally, we've been as high as 27. Don't understand how fit you have to be to play points like that over and over.
Placed shot down the line. Set point for Wozniacki.
But what a smart play from Wozniacki as well. After that long point, she got a first serve in, so it didn't allow Sharapova any time to breathe.
Best and fastest serves of the set. Tried to follow that up and just missed.
112 miles an hour. Sharapova did well to fin that serve off and is rewarded. So we're back at deuce.
Good. She likes that corner.
Oh, loves it, and both players raising their level in this game, and rightfully so. Such a big game. Pinpoint accuracy from Wozniacki. doesn't hurt.
Deuce.
Third deuce. Every point, every game contested with these two.
She was too far back in the court to
Advantage.
hit that flat of a shot.
Third chance to end the set. Caroline Wozniacki of Denmark. And an ace down the tee will be challenged
on the right
by
center. The ball
Sharapova.
is called in.
Might as well.
Not many challenges bigger than this one.
Call of attempt.
And her percentage goes up even more.
You cannot get much closer than that.
Second set.
You can't get any bigger in terms of when that successful challenge comes either. Set point against. Wozniacki outlasts Sharapova 6-3 in the opening set here in this fourth round matchup. We begin the second set. Wozniacki taking a hard-fought first set 6-3, and she will challenge a shot she felt was long.
Sharapova trying to call on the right base. The ball is called out.
Mariana Alves is our chair umpire.
Good eye
Goal
from
stands.
Wozniacki.
Love 15. Sharapova has 2 challenges remaining.
She knew that ball was out immediately.
I think
Wozniacki in some ways reminds me of Hingis a little bit in terms of her demeanor. You know, with the smiles, and she seems relaxed, and you know, she's still a fierce competitor out on court, but she seems to be enjoying it for the most part.
I think you hit on a key one there, and the fact that she doesn't get ahead of herself. She gets asked all the time by the media, everywhere she goes, every single day, about the possibility of taking over #1 eventually, whether it's at this event or down the road, and she remains focused on what's immediately in front of her.
I think the key will be to see how she handles it as time goes on, and as she is, you know, the favorite continuously in her career. I think someone like Hingis, you know, came out relaxed and seemed to be so happy and enjoying everything, and kind of later in her career she seemed to start feeling a little bit more pressure at times. Still had that personality, but certainly it affects every player a little bit differently.
Pulled the power and depth on that one. Of course, a former #1 herself, and if she were to win the Open, she comes in ranked number 17. Good chance she could climb back to the top 10.
And that's where she should be. This would be an important game to start the second set for Sharapova. Get on the board, get a fairly easy service game under her belt, and start to concentrate on trying to break Wozniacki and turn this match around.
Another double fault, second of this game and 7th on the afternoon.
So you almost get that feeling on every second serve that is just so difficult, and it's an uphill battle for Sharapova to get that second serve in. Wozniacki is all over it.
Tough time for the players with the shadows creeping across the court. Another double, and it produces the break point chance for Wozniacki.
It's just such an uphill battle for a player when you're throwing in double faults at some of the worst times in the match. She's doing it at the edges of games, and certainly that's when there's more pressure involved. Sharapova able to eke out that point. But I think it's important for her, after she throws in a double fault, to really concentrate on getting that next first serve in. Not even risking a second or third double fault in a row.
Go.
And
That's good.
It was shaping up to be the perfect play. She hit that ball, immediately recognized that she was going to get something a little bit slower back, and you just have to hit that at this point in the match.
Especially with a break point chance being presented to Wozniacki. Service line with that second serve.
Well, no mistaking that. I know Sharapova did not want to even have to contemplate a volley after that last point. Perfectly struck backhand. And her balance is so impeccable on those shots.
Serve percentage for the match down to 53% for Sharapova with those 8 double faults. Second serve here. And a souvenir for a lucky fan in the first row.
Wozniacki has a good bit of spin on her ground stroke, so sometimes you might see the occasional mishit. She has a lot of racket head speed on the ball.
And Sharapova emerges with the hold. She had to work for it. Up against the wall a couple of times, but it's Sharapova opening this second set.
First game, second set. Net for 6.
track that one down.
15 love.
Neither woman's been able to have an easy service game in this entire match.
Nothing is easy in this match. And that's what we expected.
Wozniacki
going
jumped
into
the ball
it.
on the right center. The ball was called out.
Looked just wide. You see on the replay. Just catching.
Good call overturned.
Good challenge.
First serve.
I was going to say, you've been pretty sharp on the challenges today, but finally caught you.
Well, she had a play
Caught
on
up
the
with
ball.
me.
She had a play on the ball, so for me it's a first serve. Yes.
Wozniacki arguing or discussing whether that should have been her point as opposed to a first serve. Sharapova got a racket on it. Automatic replay.
Whether she can really do anything with it, it's just dependent on getting the racket on it.
It usually. Uncomfortable at the net. She should have taken that first ball in the air. Instead, let that second ball
39.
drop. Made it a much more difficult volley. Usually there's some judgment on calls, whether or not they replay based on if the call happened, before it was hit or if the call happened well after the hit. Sometimes they'll give the judge.
Mistake coming in this time from Sharapova.
30-15.
You can see when Sharapova is able to step in, those are the points that she's able to take control of.
This time of day it's got to be tough for the lines people. There's less players.
40-15.
It's always a bit tougher when a little portion of the court is in sun and the rest of the court is in shadow, as it is now. It can really play tricks with the eyes.
That would have been a tough one to challenge for Maria because she was in full sunlight looking back into the shade. The serve coming out of the shadows.
Play from Sharapova. The anticipation at the net. Haven't seen that very often from her.
40-30.
She followed this penetrating ground stroke in. Wasn't the best volley, but she got in there. Anticipated perfectly on that backhand.
Wozniacki demonstrating her foot speed.
Get this game back to deuce, and if she can hold on and get a break early in this second set, this will really change the momentum of the match.
Wozniacki wants to have a ball taken out of play.
As hard as they're hitting the ball, I can understand why some of them might lose a little pressure.
go to new balls every third game.
Excellent play. It's been a while since we've seen the drop shot from Sharapova, but she picked the perfect time to do it. She was stepping inside the baseline. Wozniacki was so far back in the court. No chance. Perfect play.
And she has the break point chance.
Wozniacki. Sharapova defended extremely well in that point. Got to a few extra shots, but Wozniacki just stayed with it. As you see Mike Joyce encouraging Sharapova. Was a well-played point.
Talked about the conditioning factor. Neither woman seems to be breathing hard with all the running back and forth they've been doing.
Oh, they're breathing.
Conditioning. Sharapova felt she had a real good session after Wimbledon and set her up for the hard court season. Good week conditioning. Set her up with a moon ball and finished her off with a backhand.
And Wozniacki has that ability. She can throw in that changeup, lull her opponent to letting that ball drop, and then follows up with the bomb.
Craftiness from Sharapova.
Again, getting some nice underspin on that ball. And she hit that drop shot high enough over the net where there was no danger of her missing it, and it just died on the court.
Wozniacki. Looks like she's all right.
Wow, that was scary for a moment.
The shot was long.
You can see just how hard fought these points are. Still looking to see if that ball was going to land in.
She emerges. Another hard-fought service game in this match.
And Caroline Wozniacki is showing that she can raise the level of her play when she needs to. It was something we weren't certain of before this match because she hadn't been tested in the tournament. But she is meeting the challenge that Sharapova's been throwing out at her.
Winner of this match faces Dominika Sabolkova, who upset Svetlana Kuznetsova earlier today.
Well, Sabolkova played a great match, but was aided by some errors from Kuznetsova. Another excellent net play from Sharapova, who's not as comfortable at the net, but you can see her thinking and trying to make the adjustment out there. Kept that racket head out in front.
Almost perfect at net.
One area of the court where Sharapova hasn't been quite as solid. When she's been deep behind the baseline, her recognition hasn't been as good. Has to put more air under that ball, get more height on it. Fitness of Sharapova, and she's going to need every bit of it in this match. But she has not backed down at all. She's continued to step in and try to hit out on her shots.
Haven't seen a 2-point cushion on serve in quite a while. And just like that, she's able to serve the ace. And leads 2-1 here in the second, down a set.
Just a little off balance on that last backhand.
15 love.
Mistake about that one. She got her feet under her, gathered herself, and unleashed everything into that last shot.
Wozniacki conversing with Mariana Alves about whether she felt that was in or not. She did. So that's a clue to her to save a challenge.
And that would be an extremely difficult overrule for the chair to make, even if the ball was out. There's no space between the chair and the line in that position.
13-15.
Sharapova, the Russian, who now lives in Bradenton, Florida, where she spent much of her life training at the Nick Bollettieri Academy there.
Covering a lot of court in each point. And again, Sharapova finding success, moving forward, capitalizing on those well-struck ground strokes. More often than not, it's the swinging forehand volley, but her timing is impeccable.
second serve. And a break point chance for Sharapova.
13-14.
We've seen a few of those down the line forehands that Sharapova hasn't gotten into position for. That one is perfect position, her body.
She missed on that one. Perhaps that's a missed opportunity, but Chanda, I think when you look at these break point numbers, Wozniacki only 2 of 9. Now Sharapova 1 of 9. I think you got to give a lot of credit to the server.
To the opponent, absolutely. Very difficult to break in this match. Both players are playing extremely well behind their serves.
Advantage,
In some big
Wozniacki.
moments, Sharapova has come up with some huge serves. That's prevented Wozniacki from breaking as often as she's been doing in other matches.
Yes.
Ball right on the line. And it seems like that's what it takes against Wozniacki. You just have to have pinpoint accuracy.
Advantage, Wozniacki.
She gives it right back to her.
It just wasn't quite as committed to that forehand, though. She raised up on it a little bit, didn't drive through it like she's been doing.
Went for the big winner off the backhand on the return and missed. Service hold for Wozniacki, 2-all in the second.
2 games on. Second sets.
USOpen.org, your place for all things US Open. Interactive draw, all the statistics, features, up-to-date information, US Shop or USOpenShop.org. Order your 2010 US Open merchandise, international shipping options available.
Came in handy for me this morning.
Oh, really?
Excellent backhand volley and a more traditional volley than what we normally see
15
from
love.
Sharapova. Got her racket behind that volley, punched through the court. Yeah, I was on USOpen.org this morning checking the live scores out for the first time. In the car coming over here.
It's the one-stop shopping. There for everything you need.
Two very aggressive first points from Sharapova. And when Wozniacki goes to hit that forehand at the end of that last point, she has to think about Sharapova possibly coming in, as she's done on a few points. It throws something else into the computer for your opponent to think about.
Sharapova on the brink of another easy service hold. Just about the only 2 we would have seen in the match, but she's still got to finish this off.
I think we've seen very few love games in this match.
Right down the tee. Maria Sharapova fired up. She holds at love, leading 3. Sharapova certainly settling down on serve. She had her problems. in the opening set. Visibility should be a lot better for the women now with the court completely in shadows.
Lovely.
And you can't place a return much better than that.
Sharapova.
And Sharapova doing a good job of putting the pressure in the match right now and keeping it on Wozniacki. She's making her play point after point without breaks. You see one of the first errors from Sharapova in a few games here. Unforced errors, I might add. Big point now for Sharapova to pull it back in.
This time she's gone behind her. Does so successfully, earning a game point.
30.
Oh, pardon me, 30 all.
Wozniacki smartly getting a big first serve in so she could step into that second ball.
Now she's got that game point.
40-30.
Relatively easy hold for Wozniacki. 3-all here in the second.
3 games on, second set.
That was a small opening for Sharapova there at love 30 on the Wozniacki serve, but Wozniacki immediately closing the door. She settled down, got some big first serves in when she needed it.
Yeah, despite the love 30, that's as good as she's looked on serve. A few anyway. Sharapova's been looking comfortable on serve.
I think some of that boxing training from Wozniacki is going to come in handy. We'll see who flinches first in this match. Both players doing a great job on their serves in this set. Wozniacki showing some of her own depth of shot.
Really leaned into that backhand, and now she's threatening for a break.
On the movement of
15,
Sharapova being exploited there. So important for her to stay on top of points, Sharapova. Find fault with a point like that, except for the error at the end. But midway through that point, Sharapova had a ball that floated just a little bit more. With a player as good as Wozniacki, who retrieves as well as Wozniacki, you have to take more chances moving forward. I know it's not as comfortable for Sharapova. She has to do it more in this match.
Her serve will be tested here. With a solid first serve. Still another break point to deal with. Wozniacki 2 of 10 for the match. Break points. Long, and on that double fault, Wozniacki gets the break. At the end of the late stages of this second set, she's up 4-3.
Wozniacki leads 4 games to 3, second set.
I think another point that to make about Wozniacki, following up on what we've just been talking about, Wozniacki is making Sharapova do something different to beat her, to get Wozniacki out of her game. Sharapova's having to look to come in a little bit more. She's trying to do more on her serve, put more on her ground strokes. And Wozniacki is staying right within herself, within what her game entails. That's the mark of a player that knows how to play and that's confident.
Well, if you're going to have a double fault, 30 love's not the worst spot to do it.
Exactly. Only 3 double faults from Wozniacki. It's been very solid on her serve.
10 errors in the match for her versus 30.
Trying to create a little more power, a little more pace, and instead goes in the air.
And a hold of serve for Wozniacki, 5-3, 1 game away from the match.
And that's probably one of the worst games that Sharapova has played in the match, and certainly in this set. Allowed Wozniacki to breathe just a little bit easier, didn't have to fight as hard in that service game. Now Sharapova, with an uphill battle, has to hold serve to stay in the match.
Yes, it is. Deep at 106 miles per hour.
to get out of her game. She's played a relatively solid match. A few errors on the edges of the court and into the net when she really didn't have anything, like on that point. It's cost her in this match.
She's won only 9 of 26 points on her second serve.
Sharapova feeling just a little bit of the pressure there, pulling that ball well wide. Just to give you an idea of how competitive this match has been, how hard fought, how long some of the points in games have been. We're at 6-3, 5-3, and it's been an hour and almost 45 minutes for the match.
I feel like they played 3 full sets. It ends after 2, and of course that's not a sure thing yet.
Solid.
2 points away, sorry, but we're 30 all.
Solid first serve. And Sharapova is not giving up yet. Wozniacki will have to win the last point.
Out on the shot by Wozniacki, and she will challenge.
The ball was called out.
That's worth a challenge. Very close at last call.
Looking for a clue from her box. I don't know if they're giving her much of an idea. And lo and behold, it's in.
You can't get any closer than that.
30.
Replay. Point at 30 all.
Sharapova has won as much as she's won.
40-30.
Crunch time, she's still coming at you full bore.
Sharapova didn't have to move for that ball. She overreached on the backhand.
Well, her movement got a little bit sluggish there. She didn't step up and catch that ball at the peak. And again, because she wasn't looking to move forward, she was further back in the court than she needed to be. Sharapova. Wozniacki made her play on that return, but smartly moving forward, which she didn't do in the last point.
Seen Wozniacki in it net very often, but effective there to get back to deuce.
she didn't have to hit the volley. Was able to go behind Sharapova, which is a smart play when someone doesn't move as well.
Wozniacki with a chance to end it here. The crowd senses it. Match point. Chance to move on to the quarterfinals. Caroline Wozniacki.
Advantage, Wozniacki. Please.
What a save for Sharapova. Crunch time at the net. Good retrieval from Wozniacki, who made her play that extra shot. Great anticipation from Sharapova.
Well, this game's so indicative of the way the entire match has been played.
Responding when they need to respond. And that's why both of these players have been champions on the tour.
Advantage, Sharapova.
Sharapova, winner of 3 Grand Slams, 22 titles. Wozniacki looking for her first slam, 10 titles. What a hold by Sharapova to stay alive. Wozniacki serves for the match in just a moment. Caroline Wozniacki to serve for the match against an iron-willed Maria Sharapova.
See Wozniacki as in that last point, really focusing on getting that first serve in. She knows Sharapova is going to fight till the end.
Points away.
Just raced up a little too much on that backhand. She stayed down so beautifully in these last series of points.
done by Wozniacki. Tremendous retrieval skills shown by Sharapova.
Well, Sharapova got to that one extra ball, made Wozniacki play the volley. Wozniacki kept her eye on it,
14-15.
didn't overplay that shot. Sets up double match point for her.
Coaches and families stoic until it's really time to celebrate. And there it is. Caroline Wozniacki in straight sets advances to the quarterfinals and will face Dominika Cibulkova, against whom she's won the last 4 matches. So she celebrates, family and friends doing the same. And Wozniacki continues on, the top seed here at the US Open.